tomorrow. I need you to hear that word the way I mean it. Not eventually, not soon, not in some undefined window of time that feels safe, because it doesn't require you to actually be ready. Tomorrow. The actual tomorrow that follows tonight, and what is coming in that tomorrow, what this person is preparing to do, what they have been working up to, rehearsing for, losing sleep over, and have finally decided they cannot delay any longer, is going to change something between you permanently. Because this person is in love with you, and they are going to admit it tomorrow. I know how that lands. I know some part of you wants to immediately start questioning it, immediately start building the case for why this probably isn't as significant as it sounds, why you shouldn't let yourself feel the full weight of what I just said, why protecting yourself from the hope of it is smarter than letting the hope in. I know that move. I feel it in your energy. That reflexive contraction towards safety when something genuinely good is being offered, don't do it. Not this time. Stay here. Stay open. Because what is coming toward you tomorrow is real, and it deserves to be received by the real version of you, not the defended version, not the version that has been hurt before and learned to brace the actual you, the one underneath all of that, the one that has been waiting quietly and stubbornly for exactly this. Let me tell you about what's been happening inside this person, because you need to understand the full journey of how they arrived at tomorrow. You need to understand what it cost them to get here, what they've been through internally to reach the point where saying nothing has become more unbearable than saying everything. This person has been in love with you for a while, not a few weeks, not something that crept up on them recently and surprised them, something that has been building for a significant period of time, something that started as attraction and kept going, kept deepening, kept finding new layers to settle into, kept becoming more specific, more certain, more impossible to dismiss or minimize or manage into something smaller and safer than what it actually is. And they tried to manage it. They really tried. They told themselves it was just admiration, just appreciation, just enjoying your company more than most. They tried to keep it casual in their own head, tried to maintain a certain lightness about it that would allow them to function normally around you without the full weight of what they felt, making everything awkward. That strategy worked for a while, until it didn't, until the feeling grew past the container they'd built for it and started pressing against the walls, until being around you became both the best thing and the most difficult thing simultaneously, until the effort of not showing it became more exhausting than the fear of showing it. Have you noticed something in this person lately? A tension, a quality of being almost too careful around you, a moment here and there where something crossed their face that they immediately smoothed back into neutral? Tell me in the comments. Because what I'm feeling is someone who has been working very hard for a long time to conceal something that is not small, something that has gotten bigger with time rather than smaller, something that chose tomorrow to finally stop being concealed. Let me go into what specifically is going to happen, because I want you to be prepared, not in a way that makes you stiff or performative, but in a way that allows you to be actually present when it arrives, actually inside the moment rather than processing it from a safe distance. This person is going to find you. Either they reach out, or they show up, or they create a moment where it's just the two of you, and the space between you becomes the kind of space where truth can exist. And when that moment opens, they're not going to ease into it. They're not going to hint at it gradually. They've been hinting at it gradually for too long, and it hasn't gotten them anywhere close to what they actually need to say. They're going to say it directly, with the particular directness that arrives when someone has finally exhausted all the circuitous routes around a thing and realized the only way through is straight ahead, and what they say is going to be clear, is going to be specific, is going to leave very little room for misinterpretation, because they've spent enough time watching you not quite understand what they've been trying to communicate indirectly. And they've decided that clarity, even terrifying, vulnerable, this is my whole heart on the table clarity, is the only option left. They love you, and they're going to tell you so, in their own words, in their own way, with their own particular brand of courage that has taken them longer to access than they would have liked. But it's here now. The courage, it's here. There's something underneath this that I feel very specifically, and I need to name it, because it changes the texture of what's coming. This admission tomorrow it's not impulsive. It is not a moment of weakness where someone says too much and then immediately wishes they could take it back. This is the opposite of that. This is the result of a long, deliberate, thoroughly examined decision. This person has sat with this for long enough to know the difference between feeling and truth. And what they feel for you has graduated from feeling into truth, into the category of things that simply are, that exist independently of circumstance or timing, or whether the other person feels the same way. They've thought about what happens if you don't feel the same. They've sat with that possibility, looked it in the face, let themselves feel the potential weight of it. And they've decided that even the risk of your response not matching their offering is better than another day of carrying this without you knowing. Because the carrying has become its own kind of loss, a daily loss. The loss of truth existing between two people who could be living in the honesty of it instead of the silence. Tomorrow is the end of the silence. And here's what I want you to understand about that, about what the end of the silence means for you specifically, because this isn't just about them and what they've decided. This is about something that becomes available to you when truth finally enters the space between two people. Choice, real choice, with full information, the kind of choice that hasn't been fully available to you because you haven't had the full picture, because something important was missing from the equation, because there was a significant piece of what's true between you that was living only on one side, and tomorrow that piece moves to the middle, where you can both stand in the light of it, where you can both finally be in the same conversation rather than two separate ones. Whatever you feel about this person, whatever lives in you when you think about them honestly, without the protective editing, without the managed version of your own emotions you present even to yourself sometimes, tomorrow you get to bring that into the open too. Because when someone offers you the truth of their heart, they're also creating the conditions for you to offer yours. Let me talk about you for a moment, because I've been feeling something in your energy that I think is important to name before tomorrow arrives. There's something you've been not quite letting yourself know, something that's been there, present and consistent in the background of your experience of this person. A feeling you've been keeping at a certain managed distance because fully feeling it seemed premature or unrealistic, or like setting yourself up for a disappointment your nervous system couldn't afford right now. But the feeling is there. I can feel it in your energy very clearly, and it is not small. It is not ambiguous. It is not the kind of thing that needs more time to reveal itself to you. You already know what it is. You've known for a while. You've just been very careful about letting yourself fully acknowledge it, because acknowledging it meant wanting something. And wanting something specific from a specific person felt dangerous in a way that keeping it vague did not. Tomorrow removes the need for that vagueness. Tomorrow gives you permission to know what you know, to feel what you feel, to stop managing your own heart around someone who is about to stop managing theirs around you. You are allowed to want this. You are allowed to feel what you feel without immediately examining whether it's appropriate or wise, or whether you've given yourself enough time, or whether this fits into the plan you had for this season of your life. None of that matters as much as what's actually true. And what's actually true, what I'm feeling in your energy when I tune into how you actually experience this person, is that you care about them, really care, in a way that has surprised you with its persistence, in a way that keeps showing up regardless of what else is going on. That's real. Let it be real. Tomorrow, when they say what they're going to say, let your real response be the one that answers. Not the careful one, not the self-protective one, the real one. There's a layer here that I feel I need to go into about why this is happening now, about why tomorrow specifically, about what has aligned to create this particular window where someone who has been holding something enormous finally finds the courage to put it down in front of you. Something shifted in them recently, an internal event, a moment of clarity that arrived maybe in the quiet of early morning, or the particular stillness of late at night when defenses lower and truth becomes louder than fear. A moment where they saw something, maybe about themselves, maybe about you, maybe about the cost of continuing to live in the gap between what they feel and what they're allowing to exist between you. And in that moment of clarity, they made a decision. Not a tentative one, not the kind you make and then unmake overnight, a real one. The kind that settles into your bones and stays there. The kind that you wake up still holding the next morning. The kind that once made cannot be unmade because it came from somewhere too deep and too true to be argued away by the practical mind. That decision is what's driving tomorrow. That clarity is what's making this moment inevitable. And the universe, it participates in moments like this. When two people's paths have been converging for long enough, when what exists between them has been asking to be acknowledged for long enough, when the timing is finally right, the universe creates the conditions, lowers the barriers, makes the moment feel possible in a way it hasn't felt before. This is one of those moments, a karmic one, a fated one. Not in a way that removes your choice, but in a way that suggests this was always going to happen, that this conversation was always coming, that tomorrow was always the day, even before either of you knew it, that something has been leading here for longer than the recent circumstances would suggest. You were always going to end up in this moment. Them, you, the truth between you finally given air. This was always where this was heading. I want to tell you something about what happens after tomorrow, because I feel it and I think it's important that you have a sense of the landscape on the other side of this conversation. After this admission, after the truth is said and received, after the moment where everything that has been unspoken finally enters the air between you, something changes that cannot be unchanged. Something that was potential becomes actual. Something that was invisible becomes visible. And from that visibility, from that new honesty between you, everything that builds afterward is built on something real. That matters more than people realize. Being built on something real, because so many connections are built on performance, on the managed versions of two people meeting rather than the actual versions, on what people are willing to show before they trust someone enough to show the rest. And when the foundation is performance, eventually the performance cracks and what's underneath either can't hold the weight or has to be completely reconstructed. What you and this person have the opportunity to build after tomorrow, it doesn't have that problem because it starts with the real thing, with the actual truth. With someone offering their heart without the editing and asking you to respond with your own truth rather than a comfortable version of it, that's rare. What's being offered tomorrow is genuinely rare, and I want you to receive it that way, with the full recognition of what it is, not as something ordinary that you process casually and move on from, as the significant, meaningful, this doesn't happen everyday thing that it is. Okay, there's something practical I want to say about how to be tomorrow, how to actually show up for this moment in a way that serves you and honors what's being offered. The first thing, be present. When it starts to happen, when you feel the conversation shifting into that particular register where something real is trying to come through, don't retreat into your head. Don't start analyzing in real time. Don't begin the process of cataloging what this means and what it implies and what you're supposed to do with it while they're still in the middle of saying it. Just be there, in your body, in the moment, letting it land as it's being delivered. The second thing, let your face do what it wants to do. There's going to be a temptation to manage your reaction, to present a measured, composed, I'm taking this in, very calmly response that protects you from looking too affected. Don't let your real response exist on your face. Let them see that it matters to you. Let them see whatever is genuinely true in your expression when someone you care about tells you they love you, because your reaction is part of the gift you give them in this moment. The permission to have said it, the confirmation that saying it mattered, and the third thing, say something true back. Not a performance of gratitude, not a polished, I need time to process response designed to give you an exit while you figure out what you actually feel. Something real. Even if it's incomplete, even if it's, I don't know what to say, but I feel something. Even if it's messy and imperfect and not the version of yourself you'd have scripted. Real is better than polished in a moment like this. Real is what creates the beginning of something that can actually last. Let me say the thing I feel I've been building toward this entire reading, the thing that is underneath all of the specifics, the deeper message. You deserve to be loved like this. Specifically, deliberately, by someone who has carried the weight of their feeling for you through long enough to know that it's real and not just circumstance. By someone who chose courage over comfort specifically because the truth of what they feel for you demanded it. By someone who looked at the risk of your response and decided that you are worth every ounce of that risk. You deserve to receive that love and let it reach the actual you, not the defended you, not the I've been hurt before so I need to be careful you, the real you, the one that has been waiting for exactly this kind of offering, the one that knows how to love back when given something real, to love back toward. Because here's what I also feel. You have so much love to give, so much specific, attentive, this person actually sees you kind of love stored up in you. And it's been waiting for a container worthy of it, waiting for someone who arrives with their whole truth and offers it and makes space for yours. Tomorrow is that person. Tomorrow is that moment. Tomorrow is the conversation that begins the chapter that your heart has been writing toward for longer than you probably remember. Let it in, all of it. Don't make it small. Don't protect yourself out of something beautiful. Don't let the part of you that has been hurt before steal this moment from the part of you that is ready for it. Because you are ready. Even if nothing about today feels like readiness, you have been getting ready for this exact moment through everything you've been through. Every hard thing, every moment of choosing to stay open anyway, every time you kept your heart available when closing, it would have been so much easier. All of it was preparation for tomorrow, for this person, for these words, for this truth that is going to change everything tomorrow. It's coming, and so is everything that comes after it. And after it is everything you deserve.